Hey everybody, welcome to the Solar Sister channel. It's your girl Solar Sister coming to you once again with another big deal. Y'all, I wanted to come on here and just share with you something that I've just learned over the past couple of weeks that has basically freed my mind, but it has helped me be able to see things um, differently and helped me be able to try to figure out how I need to maneuver going forward. So, guys, before we move forward, if you would go ahead, thumbs up the video, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, hit the notification bell if you'd like to be made aware of upcoming videos, and feel free to share with anyone you think might benefit. So, guys, we are in September. Hey, welcome to September. The time is going by so fast, y'all. Look, in the States, y'all know we have daylight savings time, and in the fall, we fall back, an hour, and then you'll have, shorter days, longer nights, and in daylight savings time, you have longer days, shorter nights. Well, y'all look, here in the Gambia, I am feeling like we are doing daylight savings time and regular time all at the same time. it's a magical place. The past couple of weeks, it seems like time has been flip-flopped. Like some days we'll have shorter days, longer nights, and other days we'll have longer days, shorter nights. Y'all, I don't know. It's different. I love it because it just feels magical. But anyway, I digress. So look, I was one of those people who moved to the Gambia without a guaranteed source of income. And I actually came here with ideas of some things that I wanted to implement when I got here, some businesses and so forth. Many of us are becoming entrepreneurs, like really becoming entrepreneurs for like the first time um, in our lifetime. Now, there have been things that I've done, selling little things on the side and, for fundraisers or whatever, I've sold things. But anyway, um, yeah, being an entrepreneur, for real, really requires that, you really be thoughtful about what what kind of business you're wanting to open, what kind of business you're wanting to start. Is it something that's going to be affordable for the people in the country that you're moving to, or is it just going to be affordable for tourists or foreigners? So anyway, because I came without a guaranteed source of income, my first thing was to do. The first thing I wanted to do was try to solidify some type of um, business that would start generating income quickly. So I decided to invest in the taxi business, and I had created a proposal that I felt like was very fair to the driver and as well as the business owner. And so a lot of people had said, when they saw the proposal or heard about the proposal, they were like, "Oh, we've never seen anything like this in Gambia before." A lot of people saw, where it could be a lot of income potential for a driver if they were willing to work. And so my proposal, of course, I was trying to be fair and trying to find a way to mitigate the potential for a driver to want to steal. A lot of times people are just stealing because they just don't have money and they just need it. But then a lot of times people just stealing because they just got to steal things. And money is there, so ooh, let me use it. Okay. So the proposal was the proposal. The proposal is the proposal. Driver number one, so we've gone through three drivers. So driver number one is family. Driver number two, family. Now driver number three was not. But at the end of the day, all three drivers were given the same proposal. The only one who had to provide a little bit more income than the others was the first driver that we had. And so at that point, we realized, okay, well, maybe that's just pushing it. Let's just bring down the amount that we need to bring down to X. And so, anyway, each driver was given a 30-day trial, and none of the three were able to make it through the 30-day trial. And so, so After driver number three having the same proposal, now, of course, they start bringing the money, everything is fine. Then after a while, things start dropping off, you know. Now, of course, it's when you have a vehicle involved and it's having to be driven over um, streets that are not the best. Of course, you're going to have some issues with the car. You need repairs done on the car. So there were some times where, there was some downtime because the car needed to be repaired and so forth. But at the end of the day, um, after driver number three, I had to basically just kind of start basically reassessing my proposal. I had to ask myself, is it the proposal that's the issue or is it the people? And actually, it was a combination of the two. So, coming from the West, I was coming with a capitalistic mindset where I was trying to give the drivers the ability to really be like independent contractors. You were really just, paying the owner a certain amount, but then you had the ability to use the car to make as much money as you wanted to. But that's not the mindset of a lot of the people. And I want to say probably the majority of the people, because most people just are going through life just needing to get what they needing to make what they make just to cover their needs. So a lot of times here in the Gambia and probably in other countries on the continent, a lot of people own their own homes outright. They don't have situations like we have in the States where you're having to pay a mortgage. Most people don't own a car, where they're having to cover, a car payment and insurance and blah, 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 and all this overhead. So when you look at what the basic needs of a person are, if you have food, clothing, food, clothing, shelter, uh, your health, that's pretty much what people are dealing with on a daily basis. And if you think about it, that is really all any human being really needs. All you need is the ability to have food, water, a roof over your head, the ability to, have clothing for your body. And at the end of the day, that is it. Everything over and above that is extra. And that's one thing that's happened with the mindset of many of us in the West. We have to stay in that extra mode, or we feel like we have to stay in that extra mode all the time. When at the end of the day, if you have your basic needs met, you are fine. A lot of times people like to have these arguments about, capitalism and communism and socialism and what's the best and what's right. And when you think about any of those types of government on their face, they are all good systems of government on their face. But at the end of the day, when you look at each government is only as good as the people who are administering that form of government. So, capitalism, everybody wants to say capitalism is the best form of government. Why? Because when you look at what's going on in America, 1% of the population owns over 90% of the wealth. I remember when Oprah had her show still going on. I remember there was this guy, he was a millionaire, and he did this study to figure out at what point can money stop providing you happiness. I'm going to put that in quotes, happiness. And so he was a millionaire and he had done the study and he was like, at about $75,000, like in your household, once you get to $75,000, that's like the cutoff of when money can stop being the thing that provides you happiness. Because at $75,000, you pretty much are able to, have a home, a nice car, you can eat, or whatever. But after that $75,000 mark, everything over and above that is just excess. And so when you look at all of these people who are billionaires and millionaires, a lot of times these people are not happy. They're trying to find other ways to fulfill their happiness quota. And they're finding themselves having to do all this extra stuff and create all these issues for other people in order to be happy. And so after this third driver situation happened, like I said, I had to step back and just reassess the situation. I'm thankful that in the month of August, I was led to do some breath work. And actually, I was doing 10 minutes of breath work every day in the month of August, and I'm continuing to do that breath work because I see the benefit of it. After the third driver, brought us some nonsense, I was able to handle that situation with no issues because of the breath work. Now, if I hadn't been doing that breath work, I think I would have been ready to fight somebody. But because of the breath work, I was able to just take in the nonsense and just release it and just, move on. So, needless to say, right now, the taxi has been grounded. There are some adjustments that are going to be made. I still see the benefit of the taxi business because here in the Gambia, that's how people get around. They get to and fro. Unfortunately, there is no system of no bus system or anything like that. And I don't see any type of bus system like that being able to work here in the Gambia with the kind of infrastructure that is in place right now because these Gambian streets are hard on vehicles, on cars. But when you have a bus, traveling on these roads that are already kind of compromised, that definitely is not going to help. But again, that's something that is needed here. I could see how it could work here, but until there's infrastructure in place to sustain it, it's not going to work. But I said all that to say this. Part of, being able to repatriate to another country is, of course, being willing to share knowledge that you have, but it also requires that you be able to become a student as well and, be able to pivot and figure out, the best way forward after, you learn whatever you need to learn. And so this whole process should be a learning process. Every day, I want to learn something new. I'm trying to figure out how to merge, what I know from the West with what I'm learning here, um, in the Gambia. And again, I have to realize that there are some Western mindsets that I have that I need to, question myself on. There are a lot of times, well, actually, there was something that I remember learning about myself. I was in the mindset of never wanting to run out of things. And I'm still kind of like that, but I'm not as uh, hyper focused on it as I was. But I had to realize that was a Western mindset. You know how we do. We don't want to run out of whatever that thing is. If we see that we're down to our last roll of toilet paper, ooh, I gotta go get some toilet paper. I don't want to run out of toilet paper. But what happens if you do run out of toilet paper? You'll just be slightly inconvenienced. And I think that's the issue that we have in the West. There are comforts that we feel like we have to have because that's what we know. But what would happen if you ran out of X, Y, or Z? You just go and purchase it again. You don't have to be buying and hoarding all this stuff. Um, just feeling like you're in this mindset of never having enough. Um, yeah, bringing that kind of mindset to the country that you're repatriating to, it could be an issue. I mean, we may be looking at a person thinking, "Oh, well, here's where you can make a whole lot of money," but then that person is saying, "Well, I have what I need. If I make what I, need for the day, I'm good. I don't need to make, you know, so much more over and above that amount. I'm okay. My house is paid for. I have land. I have, food. I'm good. So I'm just trying to get to a place, and I'm slowly getting there. The more that I hear, the more that I am able to just kind of sit with myself, sit with my thoughts, um, sit with my belief systems, um, and just kind of figure out, what stuff I need to weed out in order to move forward in a healthier way. So yes, I'm. This is where I am with the taxi situation. Um, the proposal that I had on the table is a great proposal, but it's a proposal that's dipped in a Western mindset. The people who were involved with driving the taxi, they, could see the proposal, but they were also bringing, their mindset. Of, I have enough, whatever. So anyway, you know, it is what it is. I think the proposal is still a good proposal, but I need to be able to um, release it and realize that if three people weren't able to move forward with it, then the proposal might be a good proposal, but it might not be the proposal that is in this space. So yeah, I've already gone longer than I planned, y'all, but I just wanted to share that with you. A lot of us are thinking about, coming here to start businesses and so forth. We want to create jobs for people. But you know what? A lot of people might not see the benefit of a job. We're coming from the Western mindset of having 8 hours. We work 8 hours, take a lunch break, take two, breaks, two 15-minute breaks. That's a Western mindset. So you have to be willing to come here and figure out what from the West can you bring here that works and leave the rest. And then you have to figure out what from the new country that you're repatriating to can you use and weed out what you don't need. So this thing is like a marriage, y'all. You got to figure out what parts you are bringing to the table that match well, with the group of people that you're trying to live amongst. So anyway, guys, I am going to leave it right here. I hope this made sense. I hope it wasn't a rambling mess, but I'm saying what I'm saying as I'm saying it. So it is what it is. But guys, like I always say, if you cannot do anything else, protect your headspace, protect your heart space. Until the next one, it's your girl Summer.